Hello everybody at 0626, and I hope you all are doing fantastic today. I got some 2K18 gameplay in the background, AJ Styles versus Tommaso Ciampa. Quite honestly, I'm shocked that I actually had as much fun playing 2K18 as I did. It was actually running very smoothly compared to what I remembered, so hope you guys enjoy that in the background. So I want to talk about a topic today that has been discussed very heavily to some degree in the wrestling world. And that is whether or not WrestleMania should be two nights. As we all know, this year's WrestleMania is taking place on Saturday and Sunday, just like it was last year. But I can kind of forgive last year because of the whole pandemic thing. And to be honest with you, I don't even think of quote unquote WrestleMania to be a WrestleMania at all last year. It was a pretty piss poor excuse for a WrestleMania, if I'm being honest. It didn't really feel like a WrestleMania to me outside of a couple of factors, but that's besides the point. There's a couple of things I want to address that I feel as though it should be pretty simple for a company like WWE to figure out, yet for some strange reason, they have not really done anything to change it the last couple of years. Now, as we all know, WrestleMania is suffering from one major issue, and that is the length of the overall show. If I'm not mistaken, WrestleMania 35 was about at least 7+ hours long. If I'm not mistaken at that point, the main event of the show, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey for the title, was going on after midnight. Or it was just starting after midnight, and the show was the match was a solid 15-20 minutes or so. So that's a long fucking time. People want to go home, people want to, people got work the next morning. I can understand from point of view from the consumer's perspective, hey, this is too long, we got to shorten this up a bit. But instead of actually making the proper decisions, which I'll get to in a second, WWE decides to turn WrestleMania into two nights. Now, last year I can understand. This year, I don't understand it. I personally hate 2 nights of WrestleMania. To me, WrestleMania should always have to be one 4.5 hour show at most. And I feel as though WWE has constantly booked themselves into a hole. And that is the hole that is quantity versus quality. They put so many fucking matches on the show, yet none of them really are eye-catching, or a lot of them really aren't eye-catching. And that's the other problem. The reason they have so many matches on the show is because they have so many useless titles. They got the Raw Tag Team titles, the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships, the Women's Tag Team Championships, which to me I think serves absolutely no purpose for the division. That's just my opinion. I think if there was a way to condense some of these titles, I think the show would not suffer as much, in all honesty. I don't see why they haven't had any sort of reason to unify the tag team and women's championships at this point. The world championships I can see staying separate. I just think they need their own tweaks in their own right, but that's a different story for a different time. So right then and there, you've got 4 or so championship matches that you can now condense down to 2. And then that's not even going to talk about other shows like, minor titles and where they place on the card, storyline matches where blood feud, stuff like that, or big rivalry nostalgia matches, stuff like that. I don't understand why this is so hard. And the problem is this. Shows and matches on WrestleMania I felt that should be longer are shortened tremendously because of time. And there are matches on WrestleMania that I don't even think should have taken place to begin with. Think of it like this. In any way, shape, and form, if any of you remember WrestleMania 35, does it make any sense whatsoever to have Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin on the show? It was literally a waste of a few minutes on the show. I don't understand why. The same thing with Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. If I'm not mistaken, that also took place shortly after the fact, or shortly before the fact. They kind of happened within the same time frame. Some of these matches that are so short that it's why are they on the fucking card? Like, why? Like, again, I would rather have 7 or at most 8 quality WrestleMania matches on the main show than have to sit here and watch a bunch of useless matches that don't really serve any purpose for me as a viewer. Unless it's like a a blood feud. Like I said, like at most 8 matches per show. And that's not even counting the pre-show. The pre-show exists for a reason. To give like some taste of WrestleMania. I don't care if you have to throw on a minor title. I don't care if you have to throw on the Women's Tag Team Championships, which again to me I don't think serve any purpose in terms of the overall scale of the women's division. I just think they're pointless to have. If anything, they would be serve more purpose if there was only one women's championship, because it gives the women something to do and team up and stuff like that. But like throw on a championship match or two in the pre-show to like make up for some of this stuff. Like I feel like a lot of people or a lot of talent gets booked when they really don't have to be booked. Book them in the Andre or Women's Battle Royal. I don't know if they did away with those or anything, but they should just do that. Like, I feel like people just get matches for the sake of getting matches on the main card, and that's why everything is so long. And that's why this whole thing of 2 nights has to be a thing. To me, as a viewer or as someone going to a WrestleMania, I wouldn't want to have to do it for 2 nights. I'd rather just be there for one night, experience everything for that weekend. I don't think 2 nights of WrestleMania to me is... I wouldn't want to deal with it, to be honest with you. I would just rather see one night and then have everything special go on during that weekend. But that's my opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Check me out on all the social media stuff, and of course, check out the 69 podcast as well in the description. I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day, and peace out.